What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology, the Titans action. Spawning in the bottom of the map in the blue color, playing as Isis. His name is Kimo. His opponent today in the red color, also playing as Oranos. His name is Shelty. Currently 2-0 for Kimo in this best of 5 series for the quarterfinals of the Wisdom of Thoth tournament hosted by MetaPlays. Your place for plays. Wait, I don't actually know what their motto is. I should know that. Do they have a motto? God, we should check that out. We should know these types of things. I'm not a professional. Just know that right now. I don't claim to be a professional. And if I were a professional, I would... I don't know. Let's just leave that comment at the door. It's fine. It's fine. Oranos here for Shelty now, but he's not. He has hit Egyptian, and generally the accepted theory for matchup outcome is that if you were to go strictly on the gods and not account for players, not account for map, Oranos beats Egyptian. That is the common consensus today. However, Isis is the exception to the rule, maybe, some of the time, because of the pre-siege strategy. Pre-siege, very, very good. As we do see Kimo now moving over onto this hunt. Oh, you hate to see it. It's one of those things that is, as a fellow efficient hunt wanter. Hunt aficionado? A fellow efficient hunting aficionado. Does that make any sense? Whenever my zebra gets hit away from my granary, I cry just a little bit. As we see Kimo, who's going to try and kill this one. Oh, he gets it. He shoots it. He got really lucky there. Not that it's much better, but he's really just missed the zebra. And it's just like... Anyways, we're focusing on the wrong thing here. We do see that Kimo's found himself a little bit more hunt on the map. Shelty is going for a very fast advance time. He hasn't built himself an economic guild tier in this game just yet. It looks like his temple is coming down and he is going fast, ladies and gentlemen. He wants a fast advance time. It looks to me like it's going to be a 4-minute attempt, but his villagers have to walk a fair distance over here onto these zebras, so he might not be able to afford it. At the very least, it's going to be a 4:30, no, not a 4:30, like a 4:05 here, maybe in a 4:08. After all is said and done, we'll have to wait and see. But he will be going up very, very fast nonetheless. And Kimo, he's not even close to the classical age at this point. The temple is coming down right now. And to me, this looks like Kimo is probably going to be hitting the classical age at like 4 minutes. Not 4 minutes, 5 minutes here is the kind of outcome here that it looks like Kimo is going to be having. He's just trying to put walls down over here. The oracles are kind of ready to have a look over on this one. Do we see more oracles coming out? No. Why would we? It's not like I've had some theory crafting happening in this YouTube channel of late. There's a theory that I've got, which is, it goes as follows. If your opponent is hunting outside their base, now Shelty might not have found this. If your opponent's hunting outside of their base with a ton of villagers, 3 oracles isn't really enough to actually get any kills. Your opponent can actually turn around and shank you with no real problems. But if you've got 5 oracles, you can take that fight, especially with Shockwave. You can get a couple of villager kills early on. But it looks like Kimo is just... He's gotten away with murder here in a big way because those oracles have not spotted the hunting operation going on in that corner here. As we do see the walls coming up, we've got the wall segment house combination here to protect this this tower as best as he possibly can. As the Promethean offspring swinging around the side of the map here. Tundra coming out for Shelty here as well. We'll see what he's going to be able to make happen here. He's currently a little bit He's having a little bit of trouble on the food here. He does have these giraffe over here, but I'm not sure he knows about them. But that looks like an oracle here and not a dead obelisk. As the Anubis does manage to come through for Kimo. As he goes Anubis here. This is incredibly wild. I didn't expect that. I was thinking Bast at this point, but he's going to go double barracks Anubis here. Does he have a second monument coming up somewhere? No second monument. So there is this strategy that we've been seeing recently by Set and Isis players against Atlantean, which is effectively, the idea is, it comes from the idea, the Zeus idea, which is if I can get enough myth units out, then the Oranos army cannot deal with my myth units anymore. So the idea is that if you can get out something like 5, 6, 7 Anubites with an army of a classical unit army, your army effectively starts winning all the fights. And I think we're going to be seeing Kimo attempt to do that here, but he's got such an exposed gold mine here. He's going to start needing a lot of slingers out, a lot of units here to boot, and we'll have to wait and see how this is all going to go. But things are looking very, very difficult moving forward here for Kimo in this matchup, as we do see the Terma almost managing to snipe a slinger, doesn't quite pick it off. And Kimo is very smartly here going to be healing that slinger all the way back up to full HP, as the Anubite now searching around in the main base of Shelty here. Kimo's Anubite here is 5.3 speed, so you can't really hit that with a hero Terma, but you can dissuade the Anubite from actually attacking with their hands. If the Anubite's actually attacking, then the Terma will be able to get a little bit of damage done. But even though it can chase down the Anubite and throw a spear, it will not be able to hit that Anubite most of the time. As Kimo still building out his slingers here. He still doesn't have himself that second monument. I'm still surprised about that, but just mass slinger Pharaoh Priest out here. And Kimo is just going to be sitting. I imagine he just sits back here. I would sit underneath my towers, or maybe just like here on my towers to allow the towers to start shooting the Terma if it comes in. We'll have to wait and see. The Anubite over here still getting chased around. We'll be able to spot. No, it doesn't look like he spots those citizen over here as the Terma for Shelty swinging around the left side of the map. The next question is, will Shelty just happen to just grab a second town center here? Or does he stay one town center and try and get heroic age? What's the idea? We do see a prosperity coming in as farms will have to start getting dropped here as the army of Shelty coming through onto this position. He will be trying to garrison. He does garrison some villagers into the tower. This villager over here getting very, very close to getting picked off, but he does make it into the other tower. They're keeping every villager alive. Good defense there from Kimo at this point. Well played there, as we do see the shockwave coming in. But the Anubite manages to stay alive here. 13 HP remaining. Back into the main base and can get healed all the way back up to full HP here. As the Terma do turn around, they get a snipe on one of those slingers. Good play from Shelty here. Pushes back in. Going to go after another one of those slingers. Does get the kill, but he loses one of his Terma for it. That's always a good trade. If you can trade one slinger for one Terma, that's what you want in the end of the day. As Kimo, he's got that 13 HP Anubite. We'll see if he's going to heal it back up. He does have this priest over here that he can make that happen with. Relics on the map that haven't been picked up just yet. System of the Bast, as Shelty does manage to find that one. Going to be happy with that relic. Makes his citizen just that little bit cheaper to train over time. Can be a decent amount of help there as a town center coming up for Kimo here. He's got a lot of gold in the bank. This town center doesn't really secure a whole lot. Does give him a town center over here. And we'll see if this is going to be able to come up or not. Plague of Serpent's going to get dropped down onto this position over here as the Slinger's getting kind of distracted into this position here by those Promethean off screen. Not able to do all too much, as we do see a shockwave coming down there for Shelty. Smart play in the end here. We'll see if he's going to be able to continue to put the pressure on, or if this town center will come up as the Pharaoh here gets a little bit more empower action in, and the town center gets up here for Kimo. But Kimo's lost a lot here in that fight. He's done a lot of damage though backwards to Shelty's army. But look at the population differential here. It's a 30 population advantage for Shelty. He does have to find himself a second town center or go to the next age. We're going to start seeing walls getting dropped down over here to try and secure this gold mine over here. As more slingers starting to come out, a third barracks is up. Still only one monument here for Kimo as the Terma coming through on this location. Going to be looking to get some sort of raids here onto these villages, and he does manage to find them as the wall's almost up. There is going to be a gap here in this wall over here as well as the Terma run through, and they say, no, not today. Get out of here. And more Promethean coming in, a very, very terrifying right now for Kimo to deal with as the Valor getting dropped yet again. Going to be able to snipe down those Anubites really, really quickly over here. The Slingers trying to get some good damage done, but only one Priest on this position here that can get picked off really fast as we see Kimo now going after the Cairo Ballista on this location. You're going to be able to take those down relatively quickly as well. As the Slinger's going to be getting taken out over here. One final Slinger going down, and we will be seeing the Priest getting finished off on this location. Kimo can now start thinking about taking this town center down if he has enough Prometheans. I don't think he really does, but Shelty is in a great position. Kimo, on the other hand, he's got his farm set up. He's finished his gold mine, but he's up on this top gold mine now. The question is, he's got a little bit of gold left in the bank. Is it worth just trying to pop up like 2 watchtowers here or something? Get crenellations potentially out as well in an attempt to defend this? Or is he just going to get gold starved here as this game continues? We will be seeing the army coming over here, or the villagers coming over here to try and finish off this wall yet again. The Slingers getting sniped down here as the Pharaoh is getting caught out of position. The army coming through to push Kimo off of this gold mine yet again. And Shelty is in full control right now, ladies and gentlemen, as the villagers still trying to get this wall up. One thing you do have to remember here is while Shelty is getting villager kills, Kimo is getting villagers trained. So yes, it's not ideal to lose the villagers, but it's not as bad as you might think. And this is really smart here by Shelty now going after Kimo's town center to take this one out if he can. He's got those Prometheans. He's not actually going to be able to. He's deciding to retreat away at this point. But if he can actually kill that town center off, seems like his damage will have been done. We see a second town center now coming up for Shelty, but Shelty needs to continue attacking here. He's now given this gold mine kind of over to Kimo, and Kimo's, when all is said and done, he has lost some villagers here, but it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. The distraction action by moving over onto this gold mine, allowing him to set up on this gold mine here, really smart here from Kimo. We'll see what Shelty's going to be able to do as a response. He's now got himself out the Murmillo, which are absolutely going to be able to carve through those slingers. The mass slinger army starts being really, really weak once Murmillo come into the kind of army composition for Atlantean, but it just looks like Shelty kind of has to just take his foot off the pedal a little bit and give a little bit of time over to Kimo, which is something you never want to be doing. You never really want to be you never want to be giving time to the Egyptian players. If you're constantly putting pressure onto them, it means that you're going to be getting further and further in front. If you give them time to get their upgrades and time to get to their power spikes, it can be really tough to make that work. And it seems like Kimo has forced Shelty into that position that he's in right now. He's with that distraction over here and getting everything set up over here, gets his units out as well. He's in a great position moving forward. Shelty, on the other hand, here is starting to drop his farms down. He's spending his resources nicely. I'm sure he wants to get to the next age here fairly soon. He's got himself just 2 barracks here, 2 counter barracks, no armory just yet. Still trying to push through onto this location here. That's the Promethean offspring getting taken out, and he is going straight after this fight here as the villagers come onto the back. Villagers get this bonus against Cairo Ballista with the bonus versus siege that they get, but a huge shockwave coming through there for Shelty. Will he be able to win this fight? Kimo is sitting in front on the population at this point, but a decent fight there for Shelty. I don't know. He's pulling back right now. Third town center on the way now for Shelty as well. As he has to pull all the way back. I honestly reckon it probably would have been a better idea for Shelty to probably just stay 1 town center here. After all is said and done, stay 1 town center, get teched up, and go for some sort of mid-game timing push with like Dryads and Symphalian Birds and potentially a Tartarian Gate. Something like that would have been really good here, but not quite going to be happening. Potentially go for a gold star on the next gold mine as well as all the other 4 gold mines that are a choice here for Kimo on the front. As Kimo going to be retreating all the way back. I'm not sure what he's afraid of. I feel like his army wins this at this point. As he's fighting underneath this guard tower over here. The priest getting some good damage done against those Promethean offspring. Able to take those out relatively quickly here. As the priest will be getting taken out over here. With the final couple of Promethean offspring going to be going down. And Shelty is just bashing his head against a brick wall at this point. He's not making any ground here. He's getting some more units to push forward here as well. Shelty's got lots of gold in the bank, but no real way to spend it. We'll see if he's going to be smart and just take these villages off of gold over onto wood to spam farms here. Would probably be the right way to do it, as the Momillo do manage to come through here, trying to get in onto the back of these slingers here. Goes into a little bit of a box formation to get some sort of a path block here. He does manage to do so in pretty beautiful fashion there. That's a beautiful technique that Shelty's just used. Box formation into blocking off that retreat was beautiful there. And now Shelty can just simply walk through here onto these villages, and Kimo's going to be in trouble yet again here. As the villagers getting taken out on this position over here. And look, here's the thing. Kimo, he did have an advantage on villager count right now, but taking this fight, villager fighting this, he's losing so many villagers. They are getting absolutely decimated here in this game. As Kimo now, he's got no population remaining. He's losing all his villagers on this gold mine. The Pharaoh over here going to be getting taken out, as well as the Promethean offspring moving, or not offspring, just Promethean coming through here to get some good damage done. We do see the Anubites coming through yet again for Kimo, but his villagers are all but dead here on that gold mine. Could have retreated through the wall here, moved up onto this gold mine over here, walled it off again, but he went for the fight, and Kimo just went from 70 villagers down to 49. He was nearly at that fully populated 80 villager point there, but now he's back, he's down, he's in a difficult position. These farms on this front town center getting dealt with as well. As the Anubites getting taken out relatively easily over here, but Shelty has just come from what seemed to be he was almost in a losing position there, but he's turned this game on its head somehow, some way here in this one. Beautiful play thus far from Shelty, managing to keep himself in it here. As you do see the Anubites starting to get taken out over here. Kimo coming back in onto the top side. And sooner or later, the Oranos economy here is going to pick up. And Shelty's going to be able to get to the heroic age. And that's when things start getting really, really troublesome for the kind of heroic, the stuck in the heroic age ISIS that Kimo is at this point. But Shelty going to be retreating back here, taking a little bit of losses on his retreat path out. Kimo is only at 116 population here. There's a lot of idle units up here for Shelty. It wouldn't be a bad idea to build some more military buildings on the front here so we can get some reinforcements into this location a little bit easier. We'll have to see how it's all going to go. As the Anubites jumping through here, and Kimo still trying to take these fights. There's the Hyperion we were talking about. Well, not Hyperion. We were talking about going Thea here. I think Thea is generally the better play, but Hyperion is going to be able to do a really, really nice amount of damage to any other myth units that potentially come out, like hitting the Scorpion Man, hitting some slingers or something like that. Also, the idea of getting out a whole bunch of those satyrs behind this all, not a bad idea as well, as we do see the walls coming up. The Terma searching around this location, looking for that final gold mine. Not yet finding it just yet, but he will see the wall coming up over here, and surely he's going to have some idea of what's happening here, as it looks like Shelty, he's managed to kind of throw his advantage here in this game to some degree, as Kimo never says die, and he never surrenders. Well, sometimes he surrenders, but it's normally when he's absolutely dead. But he's always trying to fight his way back into a game, never wanting to give up on it. And Now Shelty finds the gold mine over here. The Terma has snuck through. The walls are up over here, so he's going to have to bash those walls down, as we do see the Chaos getting dropped over here, and Nubai gets immediately sniped down there as well. Shelty going to be able to get some upgrades here. He's going to be trying to break through this wall here, trying to snipe that villager on that position over here. The villagers are back onto this gold mine yet again as well here, as the wooden wall about to get sniped down. Kimo pushing through onto the middle of the map, but he does have to be very careful about this. We see a wall coming up over here. That double, this is the patented Kimo wall coming down here, is a nice retreat path for Kimo. To be honest, he can just retreat up through the top here and be completely fine. And that's exactly what Kimo's going to do. He's going to lose a couple of villagers here. You'd have to expect. Oh, no, he's turning around and continuing here. Kimo now has the resources to advance through to the heroic age. In fact, has clicked up. Heavy cavalry coming through for Shelty here, as he wants to go into those Contarius at this point, but so many villagers getting picked off there by Shelty yet again. That's another 15 villagers going down, but he does get caught in this corner, and the question is, will he be able to hold here against the Axeman moving forward? Kimo, he's trying to take this fight, picks off the reinforcements over here as the Terma coming through to try and take out those slingers. The Murmillo coming forward as well. Have to be careful to try and stay away from the Axeman in these fights, as we see some villagers moving forward here for Kimo, wanting to get back onto that gold mine yet again, and it does look like Kimo is going to be able to hold in this fight when all is said and done. The Satyr over here getting sniped down by the Priest here, trying to retreat back. We've got Contarius starting to come through for Shelty here yet again. He's got those units on the front here, spamming those Contarius out of everywhere, and that's a hard counter to everything right now that Kimo has. But the question is, will Kimo be able to transition into Spearmen, and heavy Spearmen at that, fast enough here, or will he get pushed off of this gold mine? As we do see a marker getting dropped down for Kimo. Does he have the resources to drop a Migdol? Answer, not just yet. So he has to wait that one out just a little bit. The Shelty is now 800 food, 700 wood, 800 wood, 400 gold. He's got enough to start thinking about potentially putting like a palace down on this position here and starting to go into some destroyers here as well, as the army does push back in onto this position, and Shelty has to pull back 140 of 160 population. This sometimes happens with Contarius. They do take 17 seconds to train, so you do kind of need to go, if you want to mass Contarius to some degree, with 160 population, you kind of need to go upwards of 10 military buildings to get them all out fast enough, because they do take a while to train. As irrigation coming through now for Kimo, he's feeling safe on this gold mine over here. He's defended really nicely through this game. This is a real big surprise here, as Kimo moving back and forth, doing as best as he can here to defend his slingers, defend his army. And Shelty just can't get around here. He's got himself the Arcus out now to try and deal with those spearmen. He's got himself no real infantry units to mix in with these Contarius, so he's trying to break through the slingers, or the spearmen, excuse me, and the spearmen are going to be tanking quite a bit. We'll see if those slingers can actually do all too much, but it looks like Kimo's not really microing all too well with those slingers there. He's not really going after the enemy Arcus on that position, so they're able to do a ton of damage to the spearmen, get away with a lot, as it looks like Shelty might be able to clean up this army here nicely, as we do see the palace in the middle of the map, and Shelty has his spider senses are tingling over here, and he's pushing over here to deny this Migdol stronghold that's getting thrown up, as the Contari is still chasing down this classical army. It could turn around and take this fight at this point, as we do see the Pharaoh getting taken down. Arcus going to be going after these villages as the ancestors, defensive ancestors, gets forced here. All of those Arcus getting converted into hero Arcus here, as the ancestors are going to get absolutely massacred, as now the Contari is running in onto this position to try and snipe down that Migdol stronghold before it even comes up here. We'll see if he's going to be able to make that happen. It looks like the Migdol is just about to pop. It does pop here, but it looks like it's going to immediately be torn down, as Hecate has now been clicked up by Shelty in this game as well, as he's able to get Mythic Age. Is that going to be the right move or not, though? Should he have stayed in the heroic age and got more upgrades or not here? As another Migdol going to be coming through. Chaos getting dropped here does hit one of those minions, funnily enough. So now we've got some destroyers coming in, as Kimo, he's trying to defend over his 120 and 154 population, though, as he just doesn't have quite enough here to really defend. We've got a potential for a Tartarian gate. It can get dropped over here. It can get dropped over here. It cannot get dropped in the main town center because of that monument to the villagers. But anywhere else on the map is completely fine, as Kimo trying to repair this one up as best as he possibly can, but it looks to me like it is just about to fall, as Shelty is staying pretty well positioned here. Well, he was at 160 population, but it's all getting picked off here really fast, as now we see a Lampede coming in onto this position, and basically Shelty needs to kind of move away from those Contarius, go into Fanatics, go into Mermillo here at this point, and keep those Contarius in reserve for when Axemen come back up in. And you have to kind of keep on changing your army composition based on what the Egyptian is doing if you're playing it from the Oranos side. Same too for the Egyptian side. You have to keep changing it, as we do see a Tartarian gate getting dropped down onto this position over here. Beautiful play here from Shelty, pressuring this town center as well as pressuring this gold mine over here, as Kimo valiantly attempting to hold on here. Is ready to put another Migdol stronghold down. He's got another 10 favor in the bank, as the spearmen getting... They're not really able to trade all too well against Mass Arca, so I like that play as the destroyer comes in here. That's a lot of damage that Pharaoh actually manages to do to the destroyer. I'm surprised it's not doing just one damage here. The second, as the army coming through, trying to put a stop to this Migdol stronghold for the next time, as the town center over here is getting targeted down by 3 of those Tartarian spawns, as the army pops out, going to try and take out the Tartarian gate yet again. Let's see if he's going to be able to make that work here, as he does distract the Tartarian spawns relatively well. Tartarian gate getting taken down. Villagers going down very, very fast to boot here, as the Migdol stronghold getting taken out. Kimo's golden wood sitting at a very healthy number at this point, but he's just not able to build any units out. And this is the 3rd Migdol stronghold, which Shelty has managed to kill here, and another handful of villagers getting absolutely destroyed here. None remaining. We see Champion Contarius through as well for Shelty. Behind all this, he's also getting heavy infantry and heavy archers, as well as bronze mail. He's in an absolutely commanding position. Moving forward here, we see Shelty moving down to the bottom corner of the map. He's going to be walling this off. Wouldn't mind seeing like a palace get thrown down here as well, as now Kimo up onto the top side, throwing down not a Migdol, but a siege works up there. As Shelty pushes forward, going to try and take out Kimo's army on this side, as we see the palace coming up on this position as well. As Kimo just pulls back. See 1700 HP left on that town center, as the Tartarian gate has been taken down. 63 villages with 5 camel caravans. It's not the worst of trade routes, not the best of trade routes, but it's doing a nice job here, as now the destroyers going straight after that town center. 3 destroyers, normally not going to be enough to kill off a town center. We're going to be seeing those get taken down relatively quickly, but as this is continuing, the trading is just hurting Kimo so much here, as Shelty decides to retreat back here. He sees the Migdol stronghold coming up on this position over here. Is a fire siphon going to be coming out? We'll see if he's going to be able to kill off yet another Migdol stronghold here, as the village is getting cleaned up. This Migdol stronghold's got a decent amount of HP remaining, but now there is a fortified town center able to spam mercenary cavalry in for Kimo to help him hold on into these fights, because they're so good here. As you see the fire siphon popping out here, going to start getting some damage done onto the Migdol stronghold. The villagers popping through here to try and take out the fire siphon in. Shelty pulls back ever so slightly, pulling those villagers away from that fire siphon, keeping it alive as the archers try to take them out. We see the slingers coming through here, getting some good damage, finally able to get some shots on the archers here to take those out. Champion infantry coming through for Shelty as well to help out his destroyers at this point, but I imagine Fanatics, Mermillo, not going to be too far here either, as this gold mine getting mined out as well by Shelty. I like that play there. And it looks like the Migdol stronghold just about to fall here. Wouldn't mind seeing Shelty make some effort into putting a marker down into this corner now that he's got all the map control. But in that moment, Kimo does decide he's out of gold, he's out of Migdols, and he is out of luck in this game, managing to hold on for 28 minutes here in this game after all of the devastating blows that he took. Kimo just showing how resilient he is in this game, but Shelty too good here with the Oranos, able to take out the Kimo kind of classical fight, town center grab kind of strategy here, held out allowed Kimo to get 2 gold mines, but that 3rd gold mine after, the 3rd large gold mine, just Kimo could not secure, and he just didn't have the trade route set up in time to allow him to survive here in this game. In saying that, valiant effort. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.